morning on this wonderful Friday morning. It is a great day to be here. It is Friday, February 23rd, 2024, 7:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are here. So today, one of the most important things we can do for our life is to be in the moment. Hello, Gavi. How are you this morning? How are you feeling today? Hi. It is a great morning. It's going to be chilly tonight, but right now it's 1 degree, so it's good. So how are you doing, everyone? All of you who are here and all of you who are coming here, it is beautiful to be here. It's amazing. It is spectacular. That is one of the reasons why when you see a sign and the sign rings to you, you stop and you admire the sign. Good morning, Lisa. Kylie said I needed a scarf for my sweater today. And so I had to use this one that my friend made a while back. And I love it. So she said, put it on. Your friends will like it. So here I am dressed up. Kylie is my designer of the morning. So how are you feeling, guys, today? It's 8 o'clock. Let's get the show on the road. Hello, Loretta. How are you feeling today? How is the weather in Dominica? I'm sure it's hot. It's not cold today. Happy Friday from Lisa. Thank you, Lisa. Happy Friday to you. Good morning, Aman. How are you doing on this wonderful, amazing morning? It is Friday morning, so let us get the show on the road. It is an honor and a privilege to get this opportunity to do this every day, Monday to Friday, and to think about what you do. So you remember yesterday when we talked about our topic for yesterday. So somebody was a little bit offended by, hi Kia, how are you feeling today? And one of those things that the person said to me is that you believe everything is perfect. So if somebody says that and you tell people everything is perfect, but everything is never perfect. And of course, that is an opinion. That is their opinion. But it's up to us to see perfection where there are challenges. I don't get it where all we were saying is that, where's my book? I'll never forget it. The point is, it's up to us. We see perfection where there is perfection in our life. And even in a challenge, even if the challenge is you have no money, but if you know you have no money to pay bills and you got a job to pay the bills, that's perfection. That's perfection. So even if you want to lose weight and you get an opportunity to lose 5 pounds, that's perfection. Good morning, Nancy. How are you feeling today? So when somebody hear what we're talking about and they come in or wherever they hear it and they take half of it, a third of it, as you know, that's what Rudyard Kipling said to his son in Eve. When they take what you have spoken and twist it for fools and knaves, right? So the knave is the person that takes what you say and they make it into something else. So you get that a lot. Good morning, Jean, sweetie. How are you feeling today? So sometimes, how do you manage that? You don't take it seriously. You think, you walk around and you say something else. And the something else might be, it is as it is. That's their thought. That is their belief. That is their turmoil. Remember, we're talking about waking up and deciding to glide into the day. Apparently, gliding is only done when it's supposed to be a romantic thing. So it was hot on the DMs yesterday about gliding through the day. But when you glide, you feel better. You feel beautiful. You feel amazing. And of course, even if there's an obstacle, you can glide over it. The thing is, today is Friday. And on Friday, we go out of our way to touch one of the pillars of prosperity. By the way, the book will be out at the end of March. I'm so excited. And the pillar of spiritual prosperity is one that is not attached to a dogma. It's not attached to a belief. It's not attached to a religion, a temple, a church, whatever. It's not attached to anything. It's only attached to one thing. It's attached to you, the you inside of you. So when somebody doesn't see this true you, which you cannot help, you have to realize no one can see you. They see a shell and then they want to crank it, twist it, fix it, make it work for them. But the thing about this is that, you get grilling for the entire weekend. Oh my, good, wonderful, congratulations. I know how important that is. Hi Ryan, good morning. How are you feeling today? So what you have to remember, spiritual prosperity gives you a strong foundation. It doesn't belong to a particular version of a God of any kind except you. We often can go back to the time of the Crusades, all the way back, and we can stop in today. Here we are in a world. The Crusades they had a job. They were crusaders. They had to take the Christianity to these pagan nations all over the world. And they went and they did it. Guess what? It hasn't changed. It is still being done today. We have to conform, or we have to choose. We have to match in line with those that believe whatever they believe is better. A long time ago, there's a man that came to America from Jamaica called Marcus Garvey. So he has some books that he's written. They're not big books, they're tiny. But if you were to open one of Marcus Garvey's books today and you read it, and this was in the 1800s, and you read it, the same thing is still happening today. It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. Because there's always somebody out there who wants to conform the entire world to be who they are. Their vision of what you should or you should not be. So it started when, like Pope John Paul has said, it is when Mel Gibson did his movie, The Passion of the Christ, and they asked, what do you think of it? He said, it is as it was. So the key word there was. Many people did not hear that. That is how it was. It's not like that now, but it was like that then. So of course that didn't please. So when I ask you to glide, to be present in your day, it's because it's important for you to behave by the person that you would behave, whether the world is looking at you or whether you are in your bedroom naked. Just behave that way. It suits you. But remember, there's always going to be somebody who will take the time, open their phone, click my name, and tell me what they didn't like. Is that going to keep me from doing my best? Hell no. You see, other people's opinion has nothing to do with me. I always say that, and some people take offense when I say I come here because I choose to come here. I do this because I desire to do this. I do it because that tiny inspiration popped in. And I realized all those years ago, how do I communicate with my adult children? I have a phone. Hell, good morning, Angelina. How are you feeling this morning? So I decided to send them a message. You know, those of you who have bought a copy of the Morning Blessings, you'll see what I said. The thing is, it grew, and here we are. Many of you here this morning, I have never seen in person. I haven't hugged you. I haven't touched you. I haven't breathed in the same space of air like you do. But somehow, you affect me by your presence. And I affect you by my presence. My energy transfers through this phone. And my energy touches you. One of the things I ask is to open my heart every morning to give my best. Open, literally open, and let my best drop. And if I can give some wisdom, because of a word I use, I thank the God of words for that. If I can heal a thought by that, I thank the healing God for that. Because that is what is important. So spiritual prosperity is not the religion you belong to. It's not the dogma you are taught. It's not that your God is perfect and is the only God and everybody should go in and get that God and follow you. Because then we would all look the same. We would all be the same. There would be no reason to march through the world, would there? Because everywhere you go, you would meet the same people, the same animals, the same fruits, the same this, the same that. But it's not like that. Spirituality allows us to let others be themselves. Do not foster our beliefs, our strengths, our ideas, our personality, and the life we live, and make it the life of all others. We are supposed to accept each other. A lot of the religions talk about God, and they talk about Jesus Christ. And because I'm curious, and that's why I always say, never stop dreaming, no matter how old you are, and never ever stop being curious. Because I'm curious, I read and, my own way, studied part of the different religions. And one day, at the bank hiring people, I hired this young man who is raised. We still go to dinner, a group of us, and he's one of them, and Sajid, and they're Muslims, and then there's Sangeeta and her husband who are Hindus, and there's Rochelle who is Catholic, and it just goes on. So there's a group of us. And we stayed together. So one day, I had a top, and I still have it, a lovely medallion of the Blessed Virgin, gold hanging from a chain. And Ray's looked at it, and he took a deep breath. And he's Muslim. And he said, Miriam, the mother of a great prophet. That's what he said. He said, we honor her. And he bent his head, and he honored her. Okay. There is the people that are also Christians that have told me I am worshiping and I'm being, idols, right? And they said, you shouldn't pray to Mary. And this woman met me in my business in a ceramic studio and said to me, you Catholics and your Mary business. And sometimes, you have to choose when to fight. And you have to always wait. It's not because your mother died today, you're going to cry only today. You cry all the time. You cry later on. And that is how you have to look at life. The people that insulted you once will come again. Why? Because you chose not to involve with them. So I just ignored her. Fast forward months later, it's 10 o'clock, studio is closed, ready to go home. She's hanging around outside in the middle of winter with her ceramic stuff and her tools and 2 boxes. So I said, what are you doing here? Oh, I'm waiting for my son to pick me up. I said, yeah, what time? It's 10:30. She said, well, I said, okay, I'll wait until 11 with you to make sure you're not there alone. So I stayed in the studio. She hung by the door. Son never came. I said, I need to go home. Where do you live? And I took her. I said, I'll drop you home. And she said she's going to let her son have a piece of her mind. And I said, well, then you won't have much left. But anyway, she didn't get it. I said, you know what? Remember when you told me about Mary? I said, what we have to do with our sons, and especially our sons, is to give them the ability to respect women by teaching them that the mother of this Christ we worship is important. The God that you believe, you have never read she didn't read the Old Testament. She only read the New Testament. That God that you believe in could have been born from a tree, right? But no, whatever created, he was born by a 12-year-old or whatever. I don't know her age. None of us do. And I said, remember in Jamaica, when a woman gets pregnant and she's young, she's gone. People pull their children away from her, like a young girl getting pregnant, that she might contaminate them. But there you are, criticizing me for honoring another woman. And we don't pray to Mary. We honor her as the mother of our Savior, and we ask her, because sometimes we step on his toes so hard by what we do. And it's like when you have a fight with your husband, you go and talk to his mother and say, talk to him. Same thing. So I said, this is the picture. She's in my car. I have no choice. I can talk as much as I want. I waited. This is the picture in my mind's eye. Mary's house is the lower part of the mountain, and Jesus' house is at the top. And every morning, all of you come up, and you march past her house. She's sitting on the porch, and you ignore her, and you go straight to her son, and you say, give me, please, give me money, give me a husband, give me life, give me health, give me, you just want. And then you're so disrespectful, you don't even wait to hear what he has to say. You show up again next morning. Don't you think that one day she will tell her son, hey, your friend Jean passes by the house every day, and she never says hello. What do you think? It's just respect. You do not have to worship anything. You just have to respect. When somebody has more talent than you, let their talent shine. So Mary is the mother of the God. She's mentioned in your testament, but you ignore her. They have no wine, she said. And he said, it's none of my business, it's not my wedding. And I remember when I left my son in America, we took him for his job, his first job in America, in Kansas City, Missouri. Jillian and I was with him, and when we were leaving, I looked at him and I said, who is going to tell me no when I ask to do something and does it anyway? That's what I said in one of the cards I left for him. And we all cried. He'd never been away from me for any length of time, and that was final, right? And I remember that so distinctly. He never said to his mother, I will do it. He just did it. He said, and she had so much confidence in her son that she said, whatever he asked you to do it. And they did that. And they were saying, you gave us the best wine at the end. And he said, I wasn't ready. But you asked me anyway, I'm going to do it. That's so natural, like our sons. Those of us who have sons, Mom, leave me alone, stop it. You're putting too much pressure on me, right? And that's in another way. But they have this, and we are not learning from it. They read it, and they don't give God their heart. They give God the words in a book, but they don't understand it. And that book is telling you that the leper and the beggar and this and that, they're all the same as the rich man. But they're not getting the message. So then I said to her, the last thing I'm going to say to you, because we're getting close to your house, is this. Every experience you have had, ever, like this situation there with your son, he didn't come to pick you up. He hasn't called you. He hasn't done anything about that. It's like when Jesus walked away and said, I have to go look after my Father's business, and he didn't show up, and they spent days looking for him. So every flipping experience you have, this woman has had it. That's why she understands where we are. Would you like, I said to her, for your son's friend, which of us in this world wants our son's friends to be beggars, fishermen, prostitutes, according to that Bible, right? According to that book, that amazing book. Beggars, fishermen, prostitutes, unlearned this or that, Pharisees, and they had more C's than anything else in the world. Silent. She hasn't spoken one word about it. When she came back, she apologized and she told me, thank you for educating me. So you have to remember, being spiritual and having a complete spiritual prosperity in your life is to accept people for who they are and leave them alone. Do not waste your time fixing them. They're not a car. They are not a stove. They are not a this. You do not prune them. Yeah, that's not your job. Your job is to live your best life. Your job is to do your best whenever you can do. You're doing it. Whether if it is putting a cap back on a bottle, putting the cap back on the toothpaste. Your job is to do your best. And your job is to accept others and let them do their best. Do not try to reform them. That's our job, is to just leave others and let them paddle their own canoe. We must learn to let people do their thing, have their experiences, because we only learn where we hurt our ankle after we have hurt the ankle. Because we stepped in a puddle, or we didn't stop. Why is it we are so busy to spread out a blanket to prevent others from experiencing life? The life we are living today, if you have any part of your life that is great in your estimation, not mine, it is because of the mistakes you made in your previous journey, part of the earlier part of your journey. And maybe it is the good choices you made in the early part of your journey that has brought you there. Because it's only by doing those things that we are. And that's the reason why when someone asks you, what would you change about your life right now in the present moment, you should just say nothing. Nothing. Because we cannot alter anything that has happened. We can only stay in the moment and make the best choices for us. Only for us. We can teach, we can share, we can help, we can assist, we can give what we have. Physically, tangibly, emotional connection, a good word, a kind thought. We can also give a harsh and critical word. We can also sit on our podium of I am better than you and tell you what you should do to get better than me or to get like me. Or we can tell you, hey, you will never make it. That is spiritual prosperity. If you can look at somebody and see absolutely nothing wrong with them, then we have made it. Just make it. I cannot wish to be somewhere, and when I get there, I'm wishing I didn't get there. What is that? So even when you get there and it's not working for you there, or you're not getting the result you wanted there, you have to find out what it is and answer the question that you're asking yourself and breathe and say it is as it is, because it's not going to change because you don't like it in the moment. It's not going. So the only way to stop the stress and banging your head against what you cannot move is to accept it as it is. It's not going. And that is the pillar of spirituality. To going through life and seeing everybody as they are, not as you want them to be. They are not a tree. The time to twist and to bend and to educate apparently is between the age of 2, I think 5 or 7. And we all know those same people, when they grow up, they get angry because of how they were twisted and bent to be a version of what we wanted them to be. I am an observer and I listen. As much as I talk like hell, I listen. When you are speaking, I hear you. I do not detach myself from your mouth or your ear or what you're saying, because my father said to me to listen with your mind. Engage your mind in the conversation, because no matter what, you can hear, but if your mind is going its own way, or all what you hear does not matter because your mind has not been involved. And of course, that is to be focused, and it takes work. It's not easy. He said you shift your brain forward, you look at the person, and you keep listening and watch and observe their body language. Everything makes that conversation what it is you will hear and you will retain. And I always practice it. But when we are an adult and we have come through where we are, we have to be careful that we are not this person that is sitting and saying, you cannot do this, you cannot read, you cannot write, you cannot, your spelling is wrong, or all of these things. You cannot talk, you cannot sing, you cannot look at how you're walking and all of those things. And, because maybe it's because of age, I don't know, man. I've been so busy observing others and listening. So you're sitting on your porch. A neighbor that is 92 is slowly walking down the road. And you look and say, oh, she's walking really slowly. And I am sitting there and I'm thinking, you're not walking any better. So is that physician heal yourself? You see, instead to say, you know what? So-and-so is amazing that she is so agile. She's in her 90s, right? I found out she's in her 90s. And the only way I found out is because she shares the same birthday as I, the May 10th. And then she said, I'm 92. And then this person, hello, calling, good morning, how are you feeling today? Is saying that, oh, she's walking slowly. Whereas that person is not walking any, we won't even go there. So this is what I'm trying to say. The pillar of spirituality, prosperity, the prosperous, to be prosperous in spiritual is not church, it's not praying, it's respecting everybody for who they are and letting them live the life they desire to be. And you learn from them. Observation, silence, stillness, a smile. It might bring a smile to your face to see somebody doing something that maybe you wouldn't do or you don't like. And let that smile, you say, you know what, they've got guts. And that's okay. To yourself though. You do not have to share it with somebody else. You just have to, I can have a conversation with friends and we never gossip about others. We just talk, chat about the area, where things, what's going on. There's so much to do and so much to talk about. But we are not going to talk about this person's behavior, and we have to learn that. And until we learn that what we criticize in others is what we receive, because it's our criticism. These are our words. They don't belong to this person. That this wonderful human being is not walking as agile as a 67-year-old, and then you are 67 and you cannot do it either. What is that? What is that? Instead, if you have to say something, say, you know what, I'm looking forward to the day when I am 92 and I can walk down to the doctor and go to the dentist and drive my car and go shopping like this lady does. No, that is wonderful. But criticizing her is not. And so going to church every day, praying every day, and having horrible thoughts about your family, your friends, and your neighbors, and being envious of others, criticizing others, using words that are not impeccable and exquisite to describe yourself and others, is not being spiritual. It has nothing to be godly about it. So something is hurting. It's hurting. You don't have to call it it's old and I'm cranky and you don't have to do that. It's hurting. It's hurting. It's disabled. It's fine. It's not working. It's not working. You do not have to add stupid and disgusting and all of that to it. Even if it's an appliance that decides to die, you have to just let the thing die. If it's a part of your body that is aching and pulling you and dragging you, then you search. Go to Dr. Google. If it's something, just go. Do not criticize it. Leave it alone. And do what you can do to make it better for you so that it works for you. And the same thing applies with others. When somebody is successful or their children are doing great or successful, celebrate it. Say, good for you. This is amazing. I'm so happy that you have this contentment. Because you see, there was a journey they went on that you didn't go on with them. You have no idea of the sacrifices that that person made for them to be where they are today. So to stop using words that are not enhancing, encouraging, empowering. Go around the mulberry bush until you find a way in if you decide you want to help that person. But normally, the person will come to you for help if they need it. So just let it be. Because spiritual prosperity for sure is letting others be who they are, accepting them for who they are. And remember, whatever is. It is as it is. It's not going to bend because you're finding it uncomfortable or unbearable for you when it has nothing to do with you. Off to get ready for work. Have a glorious day, my beautiful morning blessings family. Thanks, Jean. So guys, I am so happy and grateful to have had this privilege to talk to you about the pillar of spiritual prosperity. You guys were quiet. Oh, Stacy's husband hurt his back. I'm sorry. She sent me a message and told me she wouldn't be here today because she's driving him to the doctor. So send a little bit of healing towards that. All of you wonderful people, purple is your color too. Thank you, Jean. Yeah, color loves me and I love color, so we are having. I appreciate you that you take the time to share your messages with us. Thanks, Nancy. That is amazing. Rich and beautiful rising. Thanks, Angelina. It was so good. I cried so bad. I suggest going to the movies and seeing One Love, Bob Marley's story. Oh yeah, it's really good. You should go see it. It's really an amazing story. You can read about it and all of that. You get brilliant. That is so nice. So guys, thank you so much. It's 8:31 and it's the weekend. So those of you that are still here, do something that is a little bit different for you today, this weekend. Like, just do something that was unusual. Maybe just sit for a change and observe life. Observe how a bird, how a squirrel, how a skunk, how a raccoon, or whatever, how nature. Be in awe of nature today. Find something to be in awe of today. Be in awe of the magnificent specimen of a human being that you are. Be in awe of that. Nobody can fix you now. Nothing is wrong with you. You are amazing, beautiful, and spectacular. Let me say hello to all these wonderful, amazing people. Hi, Kia. Nice to see you with us today. Nancy, Angelina, Lisa, Colleen, Gavin, and Loretta. Thank you, wonderful people. And Colleen, thanks for dropping in. So, talk to you guys later. Have an amazing and wonderful morning. Arigato. Bye-bye, everyone.